Good morning, Meridian, and welcome to Business Buzz, remote edition of Business Buzz from my living room. Today, we're joined by Andrew Van Dyke, financial representative with Modern Woodman of America. Welcome, Andrew. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate you being a chamber member, and hope we're able to learn a little bit more about Modern Woodman of America this morning. Hey, contrary to what you think, Andrew's not a lumberjack. We're not interviewing, somebody that works in the timber industry. What I know about Modern Woodman of America goes back several years. It goes back to the days when you were focused on insurance and things like that. But tell us a little bit about Modern Woodman of America and the services that you offer.
Yeah, so Modern Woodman is a not-for-profit financial services company. So it's not to be confused with a nonprofit, but you could think of it kind of like your credit union versus your big bank a little bit. So what that means is we're member-owned. You're not going to see us on those national TV advertisements. It's why a lot of people haven't heard of us. And as you said, I get are you like a woodworking company or a machine shop? Maybe probably once or twice a week. So no, we are not that, but we're not advertising using our clients' money for those sorts of things to put our name out there. We're organically building in the community, giving back to our members, and generally trying to keep our rates as low as possible. And then on the financial side, as you said, we definitely handle the insurance side of, life insurance, disability. But we're also really, we added a brokerage company here about 20 years ago. And ever since then, we've also been focused on, building our clients' wealth in the best and most effective ways possible too.
Yeah. Andrew, investing is definitely something everyone should be looking at, even at an early age. What are some of the advice that you're giving your clients that are looking to start investing for the future?
Yeah, I think the two biggest pieces are for me, first, keep it simple. The more complex you make investing, the harder and more, well, complex it becomes. And the more time you need to spend on it. At the end of the day, if you're working the type of job that offers a 401k, take advantage of that max the best that you can. If you have that matched fully maxed out, open a Roth IRA, build your tax-free income in retirement. If you can't do that, open another IRA for yourself. There's not, for people, I feel like I get a lot of confusion on, oh, what's the best route for me? And as an advisor, there's definitely situations that change and you have to look at things from all different points of views. But at the end of the day, keep it simple. We're not doing anything crazy. We're not rewriting the rule book here. If you consistently can put away 10 to 15% of your income from the time that you're really hired at a fully an adult level job, as they might call it, where you're making a salary, then you're going to be set by the time that you retire, assuming that you just let that money grow and just keep watching it and work with somebody like myself that you trust and feel that has your best interest in mind. That's really the other big piece is you're not expected to know all these things. You didn't go to school to learn about finance and investments. You didn't take all the tests. So find somebody in your circle, your friend group, your business network that you trust and let that person help guide you on what you need to do, because it's not that hard. It's just having somebody there to take care of you when those things come up and those whys in the road and you have to make a decision on which way to go. And so that's for me is, start early, keep it simple, and find somebody you trust to help you along the way.
Yeah, so some great advice. How do you connect with your clients? What are some of the things that you're doing yourself to separate yourself from other financial planners?
You know, as you guys can probably tell, I'm not in my late 40s or early 50s. So I know what it was like to be, in high school still, in college, and not knowing what a 401k or an IRA was, or knowing much about taxes or how to build credit effectively. These are things that were still not completely foreign to me, a decade ago. So for me to sit here and try and, talk down to my clients, which I feel like a lot of advisors and planners do sometimes, or to maybe not fully understand where they're at with their understanding and giving them a presentation that's almost so above their head that, as I've heard many times, people are oftentimes leaving meetings with their advisors or their planners with more confusion than when they sit down. That is the farthest thing from what my goal is. And I think that's where I start to separate myself a little bit. You can ask any of my clients. I'm huge on the education piece. Before we do anything, they will have a base understanding of what's going on, why we're doing that, and not only why we're doing it, but why aren't we doing some of the other options too? Because at the end of the day, it's their decision. So it's my job to make sure that I'm presenting this information to them in the most concise and clear way possible that they can make a logical decision. And if they, at that point, still want me to make that decision, at least I've given them the tools and resources to make that. And if at that point they trust me enough, which happens a lot, then I feel comfortable advising them on what I think is going to make the most sense for them. And so I think starting with that education piece and really driving that home in the most simple, as I said earlier, and concise terms is really, I think, where I set myself apart from a lot of other advisors.
Andrew, we had coffee a few weeks back, and we chatted a little bit about that education piece. My history previous to the chamber was with Junior Achievement of Idaho, and what do you see as one of the biggest mistakes that people starting out in the workforce, or moving from job to job, are making that you can advise them to do differently?
Yeah, the reason people never save it, it's one of the same, couple excuses. Oh, I'm waiting until the kids are out of the house. Oh, I'm waiting until this next big purchase. I'm waiting until this debt's paid off. It's always waiting. Why? Why are you waiting for something? What are you waiting for? That, we allot our first, when we want to buy a house or have our rent or whatever that, living situation is, that's when we get our paycheck generally. That's like the first thing that we want to make sure that we have enough money allocated to make sure that we can live. Why is retirement and your investings at the end of that list? That's the back 20, 30, even 40 years of your life that you're just going to put on the back burner. It doesn't make any sense to me. And so really treating, when you get hired at a new job, obviously, yeah, your living expenses, your transportation, that's a massive thought process in what you're spending on your salary. But take that 10 to 15% that you're saving for retirement and put that at the beginning of your budget, not the, oh, I'll get to that with what's left over, because there's nothing ever left over. There's always a debt to pay. There's something new to buy, a dinner to go out to eat. Very rarely are people that have that mentality of, oh, I'll save whatever's left over, actually saving and investing whatever's left over. And so really instilling that idea when you get hired somewhere, make that investing the first part of your budget for the month.
So a lot of our viewers, chamber members, run businesses, and they are definitely seeing, retention is one of the biggest challenges. What are you advising your business clients to do as far as retirement programs for their employees?
Look, we're in a competitive market. We're seeing, I think, real estate market. I'm not a real estate agent, but I want to say we've had over 100% growth here in the last 2 years. So there's a lot of people coming here, and there's also a lot of money coming into the valley right now. And so for an employer to offer, and I'm not even talking about wages, but to just offer wages and not have any sort of benefit program set up, extracurricular benefits. And I'm not even saying it needs to be life insurance, retirement. I've talked with a lot of other, health benefit advisors, and there's different avenues you could go. Maybe you're a new tech firm and you're helping students with high student loans pay off their student loans. There's the Secure Act is bringing in new ways that you can use a portion of your 401k contributions into paying off your student loans while still getting a match from your company. And so I think what a company can be doing right now is figuring out for their audience of employees, what rings their bell the most? What in that industry or the type of employees they have, what benefit can they provide them is not only going to separate them from other people in their industry, but also just separate them the fact that they're thinking an extra step on not just doing the regular Joe Schmo benefits. And maybe that's what makes sense, but it's thinking a little bit further on what do our employees need, because that's what it takes to keep somebody right now, especially our generation. We want to be cared about. People under that are millennials, Generation X, whether you like it or not, there's something more than money that we care about now. It's a sense of like belonging. It's a sense of feeling wanted. And so an employer needs to take not only their financials and provide that for them, but also how can we put our heart into our employees too, so our employees give some heart back. And I think that's something that's missed a lot right now.
Andrew, great advice, and maybe we're going to pull you in on a panel discussion about workforce and retention soon, just from your perspective. So, hey, thank you, Andrew, for joining us today here on Business Buzz. How can someone get in touch with you if they're interested in learning more about Modern Woodman of America?
Yeah, so I'm always available by cell phone, but you can always find me on my website, Andrew Van Dyke, just Modern Woodman. I'll pop up. I'm one of the local representatives. I'm on Facebook too. You can also find me on Instagram, Andrew.Van Dyke. I am going to be doing more reels as time goes on, just giving kind of this basic education on, what are mutual funds? How can you build credit effectively? Simple things like that that people can have easy access to. So being younger, I try to be out on social media a lot, so you shouldn't have too much trouble finding me. But I'll be around, and yeah, website, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm on all of them.
All right. Well, Andrew, thank you again for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you at some chamber events coming up.
Appreciate it, sir. Thanks for having me on today. I'll be at the next one.
All right. Excellent. Join us this Thursday for Business Buzz as we introduce you to one of our new chamber members, BBSI. Until then, Meridian, do your part and keep Meridian healthy and open for business. Thank you.